Morning everyone, and welcome to the first summer workshop with Art with Holly. So these will run every Thursday now, 10 to 11 on Facebook Live as usual. Now we have moved over to a Thursday, so I hope that is okay with everyone. And each week we're going to be doing a different craft, which will all be summer theme related. So today we're going to be making some paper windmills. And I have shared all of the activity details and the materials and everything, so I hope you've all got those. Now, we have been on Zoom as well for the past 2 months, so after Easter we moved over to a new project called Cardwell City. So it would be really great if you could send any images or anything that you've got from that. And I know last week we talked about wrapping up the project and just videoing or photographing our works, so if you could do that, that would be really great. And for this video as well, with it being on Facebook Live, just message in the comments section if you've got anything to ask or any comments or anything, just message in there if that's okay. Right, so material wise, I've got things like paper straws, I've got a ruler, some pins, colour paper, colour card, I've got some white paper, scissors, glue, tape, I've got some pens so we can make our own design for the windmills. And then I've got ribbon, glitter and some sequins as well. So we're going to get started with a piece of coloured A4 paper to start with. Now I do have card, but I do think paper is a lot easier to work with for this activity. And like I said before, if you've got any comments or any questions or anything, then just message in the comments section. It may be a little bit different on your view as well for Facebook Live, because I think they have updated their streaming thing, so my screen looks a little bit different than usual, but not too bad. So choose any colour of paper that you want. So I'm going to go with a blue, I think, to start with. Now the idea is we're wanting a square to work with, so just get your ruler and a pen and then just measure from top to bottom. So top to bottom is 21 centimeters, and then measure from the top where it says 21, just make a little mark, and then just draw a line down. So then now we have our square. I'm just going to hold that up and I'll show you what I've done. So just made a simple line, and then we've got the square just here. Now get a pair of scissors and just snip along the side. So we don't need this extra material. It could be used for decoration, but we don't need it at the moment. And then what I want you to do now is draw a line from corner to corner. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're just going to measure from both corners that go across. And then you can either use a pencil or a pen for this. I'm just going to use a pen. So something like that. So you just want the corners to meet. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So just using a ruler, preferably a longish ruler as well. And just do something like that to start with. Now you're wanting to measure about 11 centimeters in, so from each point, so where we've done our crisscross, from each point you wanted to measure about 11 centimeters in. Oh, morning Stephanie, thank you very much for tuning in. And we're just making paper windmills in today's summer Art with Holly workshop. So at the moment I've just cut a square from colour paper, and we're just now doing the cutting and the kind of measuring out as well. So measure 11 centimeters in from each point, and then on the 0 just put a little circle. Now you're wanting to do that for every single side. Now this is a really good DIY kind of project that you can make, and then you can put it in the garden or you could put it in the house. So again, just using a few basic materials. Now this video, with it being on Facebook Live, will get shared instantly as well, so if you want to rewatch it, then then you will be able to do that. So what I've done is I've just made a square from colour paper. I've then just crossed the lines over, so it shows kind of where I'm going to be folding. And then I've measured 11 centimetres in from each point, and that will determine how much of the paper I cut. So let's try it now, shall we? So what we're going to do is just cut up to the 11 centimetre mark, rotate it, and then just do the same for each side. Now once you've got the first one out of the way, it does make it a lot easier. I think it's just working out how much of the paper you should cut. And again, you could try card with this or different materials, but I think to start with we'll just use colour paper. And I do have some colour pens with me as well, so we might do a white paper one and then decorate it. And then what you wanting to do is you wanting to fold. I'll just show you without sticking. So now I've got this and I've cut 11 centimetres in, so I've got something like this. You're then wanting to fold each of the corners in. So if I hold this up, you can see already the windmill kind of shape forming just by folding the paper over. Something like that. So what you're wanting to do now is either get some masking tape, some sellotape, or some glue. Now either is fine, but I'm just going to use just an ordinary kind of Pritt stick, and kind of glue, add a little bit of glue in the centre, and that's really where you're wanting the point to meet. So each point should meet in the centre. There we are. If you want to add a bit more glue on, you can do, but again, remember you want that nice fold, and you want to be able to see the kind of paper nicely curving over as well. So don't add too much glue on, but just enough. And then each time what you can do is you can keep gluing over the points. So it just secures it nice and easy. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly in the centre, but try and get it near enough. So remember you're wanting a 21 centimetre by 21 centimetre piece of paper. Just draw the lines across from point to point, and then measure 11 centimetres in, cut up to the 11 centimetre mark, and then you've got something like this. And then you can just start folding it over. And where you've done the point, so the crisscross, the little point in the centre is obviously where you're wanting each of the pieces to meet. There we are. And then for the final point, just add some more glue in the centre. So the Pritt stick is going to be really our key material for this. There we are, and then just push down. Now obviously in the centre, if you want, you can add something like a little circle, because obviously it looks like a flower. I know it's a windmill, but it does look like a flower. You can maybe add a button or some colour paper or something, just to cover up the Pritt stick kind of mark. But this is very delicate, and I'm going to hold it up, and we want something like that. So obviously I will recap this activity and go over it a few times. But I'm just going to show you for my first one. It's going to be very basic, and I'm just going to show you how to really make the shape of it. Now I'm just using a paper straw. Now a straw is always a good material for this, just because it'll allow you to kind of slot something through the centre. So now what we're doing is, if you've all got drawing pins or something lying around in the cupboard, then that would be really great. So I'm just going to use a little drawing pin. Now this may not work. You may need to use a bit of a longer one like this, but I'm going to try with a smaller one and see, just see what happens. Now I would say as well, if you've got any blue tack or any extra tape, then have that to hand, just so you can secure it in place. So just a little ball of blue tack or something like that. So as you can see, this activity is kind of not very complex, but again, not using a lot of materials, which is really the aim for the project, to use as little materials as possible, and just to create something really great with it. And also materials that you've all got to hand at home. So if you've got any comments or any questions, do message in the chat as well. Now these workshops will run up until 11 each week, which is great. So what I'm wanting you to do now is where we've made our windmill centre, just push the pin through the middle. Now because we're using paper and not card, which is fine, but you've got to be careful that it's not ripping or tearing. So I've just pushed a windmill through the centre, not a windmill, a drawing pin through the centre, so something like that. Yeah, that's fine. If you want to private message me, Stephanie, then go ahead, that's okay. So we've pushed a little pin through the centre of the windmill. And then I'm going to then push the straw through this pin. There we are, so something like that. So now you can see that the straw is actually holding our windmill shape, and then we're just going to get a very small piece of blue tack. Just a very small piece. So this is a very DIY craft, as you can see. And we're just going to put the blue tack over the back of where you can see the pin popping out. So something like that. And then here we have our really cool windmill design. And if you want to make the straw longer as well, don't forget that you can pull the little crinkled bit as well, just to make it a little bit longer. And if you've got anything else that you could use, then again, go ahead with that. But this is our first little windmill design. And as you can see, it spins round. So we've got something like that. There we are. And just remember to add enough glue on as well, so just so the little folds don't come out as well. So this is our first one that we've made. If you want, you can use a longer material and then pin it higher if you would like. But again, using a straw is again perfectly fine. So I'm just going to put that to the side. So that is our first design that we've made. Next, I think I'm going to try a piece of card, and then we can just see the difference between the two materials that we've used. So for my next colour, I think I'm going to choose a nice pink. I do quite like pink. So I've got a few different colours out here. But I think pink is going to be the next one. Yeah. Right, so now that we've gone through it once, I think you all kind of know what to do. But again, I'll recap for anyone that's just joined. So from top to bottom, we've got 21 centimetres. So to make the square, we're wanting again 21 centimetres across the side. So just measure with a 30 centimetre ruler and just make a mark on 21. And then turn the ruler around and then just draw a line, just connecting it from top to bottom, just so it makes it easier for us to be cutting. You know, we don't want any wonky lines or anything like that. We want it nice and straight. And then get the pair of scissors and just cut up the line. So you want it to follow the mark that we've just made. So again, this is very much making marks, cutting, following them, and once you get the hang of it, it is a really good activity and very easy to do as well, which is great. Now you want to just join the points, so you're going to go diagonal and then diagonal again and just join those points to make one crisscross, one point in the centre. And that is going to be our guideline for joining up our sections to our windmill. So again, just join the 2 points and draw a line down there. So now we've got our centre point in the middle, and that is our guideline for lining up everything and again making the windmill work. So then you want 11 centimetres in. So by that I mean put the point on 11 centimetres at the bottom, so each corner just put it on 11 centimetres and follow that diagonal line that we've just made, and then where it says 0, make a little circle. So if I hold that up to the camera, I've measured 11 centimetres in this way, and then I've got my little point there. And then we're going to do the same on the other sides. So whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Because they are going to be all the same. There we are. If you want to be adventurous as well, you could think about using different colours. So maybe create a design using coloured paper, and then that as the square could be then used to make a windmill. Now we are going to be making our own designs using the colour pens, but I just thought using colour paper and colour card to start with would just get us in the swing of things, and also you've got room for mistakes on these ones, but then when we make our individual ones using colour pens, we want them to look good. So these ones are going to be little tests as well, which again you can still use, but I thought it would be a good idea for us to make our own design unique to us. Think about different patterns and different colours that you can use, and again, like I always say, different materials if you want. So you don't have to use colour pens like me, and I've got lots of different colours here, and I've got some white paper, but again you can use whatever material you want. I just thought colour pens would be an easy way to get around it rather than waiting for paper to dry before we can then make with it. So again, you know the drill. So now we've got our little pieces. It looks like it's going to be folding over into a box or something, but we've got our 11 centimeters in and we've cut up to the point, and then now we're going to be doing the folding. So remember, it's card, so if it does feel a little bit stiff, it should do. It's just the material, but it's the same concept. You're still wanting to just fold each point over into the centre, and then the idea is the windmill shape will form and you've got these nice points on the end. So now for this you can either use blue tack or glue. I'm going to use glue, but remember you want it a little bit more just because you're using card and it's a stronger and thicker material. So just press it down nicely. As you can see, that's just sprung back on me, so that leads me to think that I should be using blue tack. So depending on the strength of your glue stick, use an extra material as well. So what you can do with this is you can actually use a very small amount of blue tack, and it will just hold in place, which is great. So something like that. So put the blue tack in and then push on. So as you can see, I've just done that, and you can see a little bit of the blue tack, but if we add something in the centre, then that will then be invisible, which is what we want, because we don't want to see blue tack in our windmill. So just remember, use small bits. So again, for this you can also use masking tape that I've got here, so just bear that in mind as well. You don't have to use the exact materials that I'm using, but again it just helps you get an idea of the project and what we're doing. There we are. And actually blue tack probably is a better material for card rather than glue. So if you are using card, then maybe some blue tack or tape would actually be better for you. So just push that on, and then we've got our really cool windmill design. And then I'm going to put something in the centre just to help that. So I think what I might do is use my off-cut blue paper and just make a little circle. So a little circle just from blue paper. As you can see, that is too big, so I'm just going to then just trim it down, but I wouldn't go for a smaller size straight away, just because if you go for a bigger one, it just gives you room to then trim it down to size rather than going straight in for a smaller size and then just cutting it and it gets smaller and smaller. So again, bear that in mind, and then just get a bit of blue tack and then just push it on, and then already you can see now that the blue tack's covered and it looks like a windmill kind of flower. And then the same idea again, we're then going to get a pin, and I might use a white one, and then we're going to get a straw. So again, these are just ordinary plastic straws, sorry. Again, you could use paper straws, but no, these are just ordinary plastic straws. Maybe think about different coloured straws as well, because I mean I've just got black, but think about different colours that you could use. And then maybe for this, use a longer pin actually, just because we've already been using blue tack, so it may be a bit harder to get the pin through. There we are. So then push it through. You can see the pin coming out the other side. And then you're going to get your straw, just extend it just so you've made it as long as it can get. And then just push the plastic straw on. And you can see the pin coming through. And then just get a very small amount of blue tack just to push over, just so you don't kind of prick yourself. There we are, and it just holds it in place as well. Blue tack is a really good material to hold things in place. So just bear that in mind. If you feel like you need a bit more, then again, don't hesitate on that. I don't want anyone hurting themselves from these Art with Holly workshops. Okay, but just add some more blue tack on. Now don't forget as well, this is very different to the projects that we've been doing before, you know, the Cardville City on Zoom. We're going to be doing a different craft each week as usual, so think back to when we were on Facebook Live last. I know it was a long time ago. I think it was the Easter crafts. But again, a different craft each week. So every Thursday, 10 to 11 on Facebook Live. And we've got our second windmill design. I'm just going to obviously push it round, but there we are. You can see the idea and it kind of spins. Oh, if that does happen, then add some blue tack actually in the centre as well. Yeah, if that does happen, then add a small amount of blue tack over the pin. And then just, yeah, do that. And if you want, just use an extra, like another harder material just to kind of push it in place. Right, okay, so that should be fine. And we've got our little design there. There we are, so just push that in place. And then that'll be really cool to then put in the flowers or put in the garden or something. So far we've got two of our designs. We've got this one, and then we've got the paper one. Again, you can see the card one looks a little bit bigger actually, doesn't it? So I'm just going to leave those to the side. I think now I'm going to try a yellow one. So I'm just going to do a few different colours. Again, repeating the same process. And then if you want to decorate them, you can do, you know, think about sequins and different things that you could use. Now, I think the card material is quite heavy for the blue tack, but again, it does still work if you want to try it. But I think the card material is quite heavy for it. So what I would do is actually stick with the paper. But again, it's good to test things out, test different materials and see, you know, what works and what doesn't. So we're going to go back to the paper, I think. And again, measuring 21 by 21. So I'm not going to measure the top because I already know from top to bottom how long it is. And I'm just going to measure up to the 21 mark. Add a little line, and then just create a little line from top to bottom, just so I know where to cut. So yeah, we're going to stick to the paper, I think, for these ones here. And to make your own one, we're going to do that in about 10 minutes. So if you've got any white paper to hand or any coloured pens or anything, decorative stuff, then please bring them. I've got my sequins ready as well, so I'm going to be making a good design for you guys. So again, you want in a crisscross, so just 2 lines going over. And another one over there. Now what I'll be doing after is probably photographing these outside as well, so I'll be able to show you what they all look like together. And again, please have a go at it yourself as well. You know, it's a really good craft activity to kind of do, you know, a bit of folding, cutting, sticking. Reminds me of origami as well, so that's something to bear in mind. Right, so again, measure 11 centimetres in from the points, and then that just determines how much we cut. Now I think 11 centimetres is a good amount. You don't want to cut too much off and then it kind of tears apart. So remember, about 11 centimetres. I wouldn't go any more than that, just because it gives it that stability that it needs, and it's not going to really come apart. And obviously, with these being paper windmills, put them in, you know, indoor kind of plants, or in the garden when it's sunny. When it's windy, when it's raining, just bring them in. You know, it's only a little bit of fun, like a little DIY project. And I don't want you to get upset if you go out and it's either blown away or got wet and just disintegrated. So please just bring them in, and just remember it's a DIY kind of craft project as well. So just a little bit of fun. Now, with us using paper, we can go back to using our Pritt stick. So we're getting a little bit of glue in the centre, fold it over and stick, and then that'll just stay in place. Again, glue over the point that we've just made, and stick. Glue over, and then stick. So it's just very easy when you get the hang of it, and then just stick it down there. And then if you want to decorate the centre, then you can do. If you want to add a little circle in, maybe, then that's a good idea. I might add a pink one actually, pick some of this pink card. So again, think about using off-cut material. And like I said before, just cut a bigger circle, and then you've then got room to then trim it down without making it too small. There we are. Then trim it down, and then add a bit of glue on the back, and then stick it on. Nice and easy like that. And if I hold that up, that looks really good. I quite like that actually. And then get a small pin. So I'm just gonna get a straw, and I'm gonna get a small orange pin. Think about all the plastic straws that you can use. You know, different colours. You can get some white ones. That would be really cool. But at the moment, I've only got the black ones. But yeah, just for future reference, think about different ones that you can use. So I'm just going to push the orange pin through, and as you can see, that adds an extra little circle on the design. Just going to push that through. Just don't press down on it, just because the paper is nicely folded over. So just when you're kind of handling it, be quite careful, and then just push the plastic straw through the pin, and then just add on the back a little bit of blue tack. And then because you've added the blue tack just on the back, it just makes it nice and easy to spin round. So we've got the little stem, and then the spinning mechanism is working, as you can see there. There we are. Now if you want, you can also use a pencil, because bear in mind you can see a little bit of the black marks, but not too much. So if you want, then just use a pencil or something like that. Right, I think we're going to carry on making another paper one. I quite like these ones. So again, just put that to the side. And remember, we're going to leave the card as well. I wouldn't make too many of the card ones, just because it is quite a heavy material, and it does come apart quite easily actually. So just ease off the card ones. There we are. I'm just going to leave that to the side. But yeah, we want more paper ones, I think. So what I'm going to do now is have a look in my book. What other colours can I use? We could go with this red one here actually. The red one could be quite nice. And then we've got the primary colours all set out. Now I've got 4 more straws left, so again I'm going to make one more, and then we're going to go on to our white paper, I think. So centimetres, you want in 21 across there, and then just make a little line from top to bottom, and then hold the paper up, get the scissors, and then cut up the marker, and then you've got a square. Now because we've done it a few times, I'm going to go a little bit faster, but again I hope you're all still kind of following on and everything. So then just draw a line from corner to corner. Another one, so from corner to corner. And then 11 centimetres in, you want in. So from the bottom inwards, you want in 11. And just put a little circle on the little mark. .11 centimetres in. Little circle on the mark. And then keep rotating the paper around. So 11 centimetres in. Little circle on the mark. And the same again, a little circle on 11 centimetre mark. And then get the scissors and cut up. And I always find it quite exciting when you're making like DIY kind of projects and ideas. I have planned all our summer workshops actually, but if you've got any ideas, then please do let me know. If you've got anything specific that you want to make, or you know, I don't know, you want to make a miniature garden. I mean, we've done something like that before, or you want to use water. You know, a few of my craft activities for summer actually have got water involved with them as well, so that should be exciting and again very intriguing. So I hope you do join me for the upcoming ones. I mean, they're going on up until the 23rd of September until I go back to uni, and then we won't then be live again until Christmas, because then we move on to then Christmas and then Easter, because these workshops originally were meant to be just for summer, but then we just carried on doing them. You know, we carried on over Christmas and then Easter, and then it just developed from there, and that's how we then started the Carville project, and then we're back on again for summer workshops. So they just really have developed, and it's really great that you're all still tuning in and, you know, creating and everything, which is brilliant. I'm just going to get some yellow paper. So think about the centre of the windmill. So just add something in the centre, maybe a button or some colour paper. And then it looks like a flower. So we've got like a windmill kind of flower. And again, think about different colours that you can use. Right. So I'm just going to get my glue, push the circle on, so we've got, there we are, nice and easy, and then choose a colour pin. So I've got colour pins, which is great. I'm just going to get my straw again, and then I'm going to choose, I think, I'm going to go with a little purple one actually. I do quite like the colour purple, so yeah, we're going to use that. Extend the straw, and then just push it right through the centre. Just be careful of your fingers. And don't ruin too much of the folded design that you've done. Just push through carefully. Hold the pin on the other side, and then push the straw over. There we are. So I hope you're all enjoying the activity as well. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been back on Facebook, since we've been on Facebook Live. So again, very different. And again, remember that you can comment in the comment section. Remember that the video will be shared, and just remember that anyone can join as well. So the links that I've sent out and I've put on social media, anyone can join. So just bear that in mind. And as soon as I go live, it'll also come up on your timeline that I've gone live, so that could be, again, a handy little thing to do. And again, we're using the straw, we've got the paper, got a bit of blue tack on the back of the straw, and then it spins round gently. So there we are. And the pin's staying in nicely there. So remember, if you use the blue tack on the back, the pin will stay in place, but also allow you to keep moving the windmill around. So we've got our fourth one here. I quite like these ones. I do quite like them. I think I might do a green one now. So I'm just making a little collection of them. And again, this is a really good craft that you can carry on and add to and whatever. So that's very good. And I'm going to get my second piece of colour paper. And then just measure 21 centimetres across, make a little mark, and then we're going to then join it up as well. Are you still watching, Stephanie? How are you? I have sent you and I've sent Jordan the little plan for the summer workshops, because each week I always plan a new activity, so I've done all of that. So I hope you've got it. If not, I'll send you it again, but I did send it yesterday. And if anyone else would like a little plan, you know, if you all want to come, and maybe you can't come every week and you want to know what we're doing, just ask me and I can always send you one over via email. It's always handy to have. There we are. So I've made my little marker, and then I'm going to go 11 centimeters in. So, and then make a little circle or a little line or something on the 11 centimeter mark. And the idea is each little fold will be 11 centimeters, and so it will all look the same. It'll all look symmetrical. That is the idea. Now these workshops, with them being on Facebook Live, are open to anyone. So if you've got anyone that, you know, would like to join, then let me know. Glad you're okay, Stephanie. And yeah, I will send you them again. Then I'll try and maybe send it over Facebook or something. Because I did try the email address in, you know, lowercase and uppercase. So I will do it again and then see if that's okay. There we are. So again, now we've cut it and we've got our 11 centimeter in marked. We can then use a glue stick, glue in the centre, and then just fold over and place down. So I know this is the first workshop, but every week we're going to be, again, Thursday 10 to 11 on Facebook Live, doing summer crafts. So that the theme really for Art with Holly workshops is going to be the summer, kind of summer crafts and summer ideas that we can do. If you've got anyone that would like to join, then again, let me know, let them know. And yeah, I hope you're all enjoying them. This is obviously in partnership with Unique Kids, so they are the ones that kind of organise it with me, but again, it's always a pleasure to do them on Facebook and to have people watching. So again, if you would like to join in or whatever, then they are very much open to anyone. So maybe other community groups could join in. You could join in at home, so just bear that in mind. We're going to get our glue stick. I've now got my little circle for my windmill flower, I'm going to call it. I'm just going to use the glue and then just push the circle just in the centre. And it just makes it look a little bit more kind of finished, and also it covers up the glue we've had before. So I'm going to get my plastic straw. And I'll hold these ones up again at the end, and I will be photographing them just because they look really cool. I'm going to use, I think, a blue. Yeah, I'm going to use a blue little pin. So again, I'm just using drawing pins. And just push the pin through the centre. And then hold the pin on the other side and then push a plastic straw over it, like I'm doing there. And then get a little bit of blue tack just to hold it in place and just to prevent you from hurting yourself. There we are. So just going to wrap a little bit of blue tack over, just on the straw, and then it allows the windmill to turn. There we are. So something like that. I'm just going to add a little bit of blue tack there. And it'll also allow it to turn and it'll stay in place. So I'm just going to put that to the side. We're going to make one more, and then we're going to make our one with colour paper, with colour pens, sorry. So So this time it's going to be orange, and you know the drill by now. We're going to do 21 by 21, so we're going to make a square. So the square is the first thing we're wanting to do. Just so it all looks the same on each side, and it looks like a windmill. That's the idea. So I wanted to then use some scissors just to cut up here, and then just leave the extra paper at the side. That can be used for decoration or just for another craft. So again, don't throw away little scrap bits. And then we're just going to use our ruler, just then join up each of the corners. So just putting one line across and then another line across, and then the centre of those lines will make it easier when we're trying to fold over and position our sections of the windmill. And then we're going to go 11 centimetres in on each point. So we're going to follow the line that we've just made direct from each corner, and then make a little circle on the 11 centimetre mark for our design. And I wouldn't go any lower than 11. I think it's a good one to use, because you don't want to cut too much paper off and then it falls apart, and again you don't want to cut too little and then it just doesn't fold properly. So I think 11 centimetres is good. Remember just to use like A4 paper, A4 colour paper, A4 white paper, and think about some decoration. So after this, what we're going to be doing is using some colour pens for the last 15 minutes. And we're going to be using sequins and some different like decorative things. So again, the final windmill will be our own creation. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in the centre, and then fold over the first point and then press down. And the second bit, add more glue over the bit that we've just glued, and then fold the next bit in. So again, you're just really working around just until you've secured each of the 4 points. Press over, and then you've probably then got a little bit of a glue pile. So then what you're wanting to do is cut a little circle or something just to then cover it over and make it look nice and neat. So I've got some different off-cut material bits. I think I might use another pink actually. So I know this is card, but card will be okay for the decoration. It's really just for the folding that we found out it didn't work for. So I wouldn't use card for this. And also the materials did seem too heavy. So we tried it out, but I think paper is the material to use. Just press the card circle over the points where each of the sections have met. And then we're going to get our straw. I've also got some ribbon here as well, so if you do want to do some decorating, then you can do. Any off-cut materials could be maybe used to make spots or something on the design. So we could use that actually for our coloured pen one, for our own design. So we'll save that, and then we're going to get a coloured pin. So I might use a green actually, and then I'm going to get the plastic straw as usual. So by now that we've made a few, you kind of get the hang of it, I hope. If you don't, then just message in the comment section. If you've got any questions, then also do the same. And then just push the pin through the centre, and then hold the pin on the other side while you're then pushing over the plastic straw. And then get a little bit of blue tack, or maybe a little bit of tape or something, just something to cover over the sharp point of the pin. And then just secure that nicely to the straw, because that will make sure that the pin doesn't come off and our design doesn't fall apart, but also that we're not going to hurt ourselves. So that's very important. So we've got our 6th windmill design, and does it work? There we are, and it's working nicely. So as you can see, we've got the stem, so that's the bit we'll just put in the soil, and then it then spins round like that. So we're just going to put that to the side, And then the final design can be our own. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, this one is a little bit tricky. I mean, it won't be for you, but it may be for me, because I'm using A3 paper. So the first task is to make the square. So I'm wanting 21 by 21, so I'm going to have to measure on both sides this time, just because A3 paper is obviously bigger. Right, so got 21 here, and then we've also got 21 here. So then we're just going to draw 2 lines, and then where the lines cross over is the point that we're going to then cut from. So just draw a long line. If you use an A3 paper, then you can do the same as me, but otherwise I would go for A4 white paper, just so we can make our own design. Right, so I've done something like that. So now you can see that I've got my little square in the corner, and I'm going to get the scissors. So we don't need the pen at the moment, because we're going to be then decorating. Hence why we're using a blank piece of paper. So think about ways to decorate, colours, pattern. You know, you might want some stripes or some spots or something. But yeah, think about different materials that you can use. For me, I'm going to go with the stripes from the colour pens, but then I'm also going to go with some colour paper. Now remember, you'll decorate one side, and then when it folds over, you'll actually see some of the white from the inside of the other bit where it folds over. So that will look quite good, I hope. If you don't want that, then you can decorate both sides. But I quite like the white coming through. So now I'm going to go to my pens and have a look at my selection. Now I've got quite a lot out here, so I'm just going to work out a few colours that I want to use. So I've got like a red, I've got an orange, I might go for a yellow. And then I'm going to go for a nice like light blue. Maybe something like that. And then a green. So I've got some very kind of bold colours there. And then I might go for a pink and a purple. So again, just thinking about different colours that you can use and different combinations as well. So yeah, I'm going to go for another pink actually. And then possibly a nice purple actually, that could work well. Right, there we are. So I've got my selection, I've got my red, orange, yellow, blue, green, pink and purple. So then just start then making a design of some sort. For me, I'm just going to go with the stripes. And because I'm working on an already messy white piece of card, it doesn't matter if I am then getting pen all over it. So I'm just going to actually use this ruler, that could be quite handy, and draw a line. So this is the section that I'm wanting in red, and then I'm going to then colour it in. So once you've done the decorating, the actual making of the windmill is quite easy. There we are, so I'm just going to colour over in red. Now this is going to be the last 10 minutes of the workshop, so we're going to focus on making our own windmill. So by that I mean our own windmill design. If you've got any photographs from today's workshop, any photos of last week's cardville workshop, I know I asked you to send maybe any photographs that you've got from all the buildings and things that you've made in those workshops. So again, it will be a nice way to wrap up the project properly. So if you've got any photographs from those cardville ones, then please send them over. Send them to Unique Kids or myself. And I have posted as well my own images from those workshops. So again, I'm just making a little stripe there. So each section is going to be a different colour. Now I'm going to go for my orange. So just really decorating and designing your own windmill kind of canvas. So use a white piece of paper, cut it down to size as a square, and then you can start decorating it in whatever way you wish. There we go. So just keep filling it in with that colour. Now, because you're going to be folding it over, if you are doing stripes, don't worry about them being completely straight, because I don't think when you fold it over it will be as noticeable as you think. There we are. So now I'm going to move on to my yellow. If you've got any questions as well in the last 10 minutes, then message in the comment section. If not, message me after if you like. So as you can see here, I'm just adding my stripes onto my design. Think about colour, think about pattern, and also different ways you want to decorate it. Because for me, I'm going stripes with my colour pens, and then I'm going to decorate the windmill once it's been made. I'm going to add some coloured spots on using some colour, well, the offcuts of the colour paper. Now just focus on getting the colour on there as well. You don't have to colour all of it as well. I do think the colour and then the white in the background does look quite good as well. So you don't have to decorate both sides if you don't want to. And then we're going to then go on to our green. So I'm just working my way through the colours that I've laid out. If you've got a little bit of white left over, maybe go back to red again. And then I've got a pink. So again, I'm just working through the colours that I've laid out and just trying to cover all of this white space. So now I'm on my pink. Now if you're not able to get into the video today or watch it or anything, then don't forget that the Facebook Live ones get shared. And I'm also recording it as well on a different device, which will then get posted to YouTube as more of like a how-to kind of craft tutorial. So today will be how to make a paper windmill, and each week we'll make a different craft. So again, very different to the cardinal project, and again focusing on the theme of using different materials and the theme of summertime. If you've got any questions or any ideas or whatever, then again just please message and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And then my final colour, again, probably going to go with like a deep yellow this time. I'm going to hold up mine. So this is my very colourful piece. And now what we're actually going to do, because when we fold it over, we're wanting the majority of this being colour. So we're actually going to fold it over and then do our crisscross lines and our 11cm bits from here. So we're actually going to fold it over onto the white and then do it like this. So remember, you want each point to join. And then you're going to go 11cm in So each time you do that, just add a little circle, and then that'll determine where we cut. Just keep rotating the material, just so you've got all those little circles, those little marks in place. And then go to our scissors. And now once you've done this, it's fairly quick. You can then cut to the mark. And I'm excited to see what the stripe one looks like actually, just because the stripes will hopefully curve around a little bit. Then I'm going to get my offcut material just for later. I'm going to get the glue stick, add a little bit of glue into the centre, and then I'm going to pull over my first section of my windmill. And then I'm also going to do the same. Pull over. I mean, if you want as well, you could actually try and do it the other way. I'm just going to see what that looks like if I do it the other way. It depends. If you do it the other way, you've got a white flower, but if you do it the other side, you don't. I might actually just stick with what I've done before. Fold it over, and then inside will be the white design. There we are. And then got a little bit of green from there. So our colourful design is actually going to be like this. But if you want, you could then maybe fold in sections of it. Like some sort of origami bit. You could actually fold it over and make it look a bit fancy. So maybe you could add a bit of glue there and then fold it back on itself. So add a bit of glue there and then just fold it back on itself, and then the windmill actually looks really funky. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there and then just cross that a bit over, and then do the same on this one. Add a little bit of glue there and then cross it over, and then just flatten it. So we've actually still got our windmill design, it's just very different. And then you can then add a little circle on. What I would do actually is use a bigger one than that. And then just use a bit of glue. Then glue this little bit here. And then just stick it on the design. And if you want, you can actually add some colourful kind of dots to the other one, or some designs. But I think I'm actually going to leave mine just one block colour. I do quite like it. But what you could do maybe is make it look really funky and add some circles on each of the flicked up points at the side. So I'm just going to cut some little circles from the colour paper. Don't worry too much about them being different sizes. So go with a bit of green. Maybe go with another yellow. And then we've got 4 points that kind of stick out. So we're going to add a little bit of glue on, then just stick the point on. Add a little bit of glue there, and then just stick the point on. Then just keep doing the same just until you've covered it all. A bit of glue there, stick the point on, and then the same on this side. Add a bit of glue, and then stick the point on. And then get a pin and get this plastic straw. And then that looks like a funky windmill, I think. But then I'm going to add that through. We're just going to push the straw through. There we are. And then add some glue sack. And don't forget to also extend the straw just to make it a little bit longer. Right, and then I'm going to hold it what I've done. So this is my unique windmill. So we've got this one here. We've got ones that we've done earlier. using coloured paper. So I'll put those two. We've got a yellow one here. There we are. And we've also got the blue, and I can't show the other ones, but we've got the orange and we've got the pink as well. So these are our windmill designs. Thank you very much for joining me for the first Art with Holly session back on Facebook Live, for the first summer workshop as well. It's been really great, and I'm going to go and photograph these now, I think, in the garden. But thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next Thursday, 10 to 11 on Facebook Live. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later, everybody. Bye.